Saludos amigos de la internet y bienvenidos a Criptolandia, tu país digital. Jimmy Rodríguez contigo en otro nuevo video. Mi gente, antes de comenzar quiero darle las gracias por la paciencia que tuvieron, ya que en la última semana Maryluli y este servidor estuvimos vacacionando por allá por las Europas.
Mamma mía, you number one.
Y pues tomamos unos días de descanso bien merecidos. Ya pues esta semana estamos comenzando otra vez a crear contenido. Hoy te traemos un video bastante interesante acerca del cofundador de Wikipedia, Larry Sanger. Nos llamó la atención este video, quien lo trajo el proyecto de EOS en una de sus tantas actividades que ellos tienen. Y nos llamó la atención por una sola cosita. No voy a tomar mucho tiempo, pero quiero que escuches esto. Hoy en día, no quiero generalizar, pero hay muchas personas que están pendientes únicamente a los precios que tienen las criptomonedas. Y es que eso no sea importante, eso está claro. Sin embargo, tenemos que tener claro que estamos en uno de los momentos más determinantes e importantes de este ecosistema, ya que hemos pasado por muchas, desde todas esas malas noticias, con muchas manipulaciones que venían detrás, todas las regulaciones que se han hecho en diferentes países, la mala información, y como todos sabemos, al fin y al cabo un mercado psicológico pues va a responder de la manera que al final del día sienta. Entonces creo que es bien importante, mi gente, que prestemos atención a ciertos fundamentales que necesitamos para que la capitalización de los criptoactivos vaya tomando una senda alcista. Entiendo yo, y esto es una opinión mía muy personal, que este es el momento de estar bien pendiente a los fundamentales de muchos de estos proyectos. Cuando usted ve proyectos que está creando aplicaciones inteligentes, cuando está creando aplicaciones para que usted haga transacciones online, cuando está creando, por ejemplo, el proyecto DTUBE, que tiene un producto físico, o sea, lo que está sucediendo, y súmele a tantos bancos y corporaciones que en un pasado manipularon este mercado con malas noticias y ahora son los mismos que están ofreciendo servicios con monedas criptográficas. O sea, tenemos que estar claros que lo más importante en este momento es las tecnologías que se están creando, que estamos en medio de un proceso en donde estamos en una adopción temprana, y creo yo que la esencia verdadera de este mercado de criptomonedas sería que tú y yo comenzáramos a educar, a modelar a los demás y comencemos a interactuar con estos criptoactivos, porque de esa manera va a haber una masificación, va a haber una adopción masiva, y ahí cuando todos estos criptoactivos se estén utilizando a su máxima capacidad, entonces pienso yo que la esencia de las criptomonedas se va a dar, y entonces los precios comenzarán a subir. No estoy diciendo que si en estos momentos, por ejemplo, crearan un ETF de Bitcoin no vaya a subir. Claro que va a subir. Mucho dinero institucional, no por millones ni billones, por trillones va a entrar, y asimismo las demás personas que estamos en el ecosistema nos vamos a motivar y va a haber un optimismo mucho más fuerte en el mercado para que entonces se vaya a la compra, y entonces así los toros pues podamos dominar a estos osos que lo que quieren es mantenernos en pánico. Así que es bien importante, le digo todo esto porque es bien importante que informaciones como la que usted va a escuchar ahora las tome en cuenta, para que se vaya dando cuenta que ya está pasando algo muy importante. Ya usted está viendo que los bancos, muchos de ellos están cambiando de opinión. Ya usted está viendo que muchos gobiernos están comenzando a interactuar con la tecnología de cadena de bloques o blockchain, Y esto es en todo el mundo. A mí no me cabe la menor duda que estamos en el lugar correcto. Y te insto que si ya llegó el tren, ya te dieron la información, móntate, estúdialo, y si al final del día piensas tú que es para ti, con responsabilidad, haz tus inversiones, ¿ok? Así que, sin nada más, ¿qué vamos a hacer, gente? ¡Vamos al video!
My name is Larry Sanger. I'm co-founder of Wikipedia, and I am now the Chief Information Officer of Everipedia. And Block One told me I was going to be giving this speech yesterday, so I basically wrote down a few thoughts. And I hope you find this of interest. I'm not going to be talking about Everipedia. I'm going to be talking about basically what a participatory website or participatory digital project should look like. And this is going to be pretty off the cuff. Think of it like a live vlog. I want to begin this by saying that blockchain projects have to have motivation. In particular, there has to be something about your mission that requires a decentralized platform, right? What does that mean? Among other things, what that means is there's no single locus of power. Power is distributed among multiple nodes, and that doesn't just mean nodes of servers that host copies of your blockchain. It also means a distributed power among individuals or among organizations. Well, that means that if you've got a blockchain project, that it follows naturally that you have a participatory project, right? It's a collaborative project. So, and that's where I come in, basically. I've worked on almost nothing but participatory projects since the 1990s. And one thing that I have learned and practiced actually from early on is that to make a really successful participatory project, you have to engage the participants. It's pretty obvious, but a lot of people don't really do it, I find. And so I want to just talk about what it means. So in general, what it means is you need to reach out and not just get feedback from people who are using your app after it's been built, but engaging the users as partners at every step of the process, even from the earliest planning stages. So, right. If your users are essentially acting as volunteers, right, which, let's face it, in most cases they are, even if they're earning a few tokens for what they're doing, it probably isn't worth very much, and they don't expect it to be. Basically, they are volunteers. You're getting a lot more out of their involvement than they are getting from you, right? If that's the case, then at any time, they can pick up their ball and go away. And that's the danger, attrition. I find that the possibility of attrition, just people leaving your project after engaging in it for a few days, is rife in all participatory projects. Projects that begin with a big boom, often, usually, after a couple of months, or at least a year, often are just dead. All of that earlier momentum was not captured. And why not? The reason is those people weren't being listened to. all right? If you design the project from the beginning, listening to those people, always having their interests, their preferences, working essentially with them, for them, if you think of it that way, then they're going to be a lot happier and a lot more likely to stick around. So you need to talk to them one-on-one. This is what they talk a lot about in books you've probably read about the lean startup philosophy. I don't necessarily agree with every aspect of lean startup philosophy, but this I do, that it's really important that you have user interviews and do surveys, if nothing else. I mean, geez, at least that. But no, more than that, actually more than just asking their opinion, right? You need to also share your information with them so that it's a two-way street. It's an actual interaction between equals, right? You're actually trying to engage them, make them feel like they are partners in your project. If they don't feel that way, they don't have any extra reason to stick around. So that means then that it's really important that you be open, share information, err on the side of sharing information. This has been my practice anyway. So unless you're being like really closely watched by the SEC or a board of directors or something like that, and there's things that are corporate secrets, whatever, yes, of course, there's going to be exceptions like that. But nobody really cares, right, about the little problems of your small startup, you know? Like if you show a little bit of friction between co-founders, for example, or if you say you let the cat out of the bag that you're a little bit behind in the development of your latest feature, or you know, things like that. It doesn't matter, right? In fact, they will like that. Your participants will like if you share stuff like that because it humanizes you, right? You don't pretend like you're above them. And that's really important if you want to have a participatory website. I say website, well, it could be an app. So, right. So there's a couple of different things that are important to think about when you're thinking about how to engage your users. And I'm going to break it down in terms of the planning versus execution of features. So, first of all, in general, I think people don't, in my humble opinion, they don't usually think hard enough about all of the different questions that go into building the website. I mean, I'm a philosopher, right? I've got a PhD in philosophy, so it just sort of comes naturally. I'm going to like write down 100 questions, and I'm going to like have a go at answering the questions, even if if it's totally a priori. That's a little philosophical jargon for you, meaning without any relevant experience. I think that's a really good exercise to do, and so what I would encourage you to do, this is what I always encourage people to do, is to actually take the time to do that, even if it takes a couple of weeks. Every new project I do this. I sort of shut down for a month or a couple of months. I did when I was doing the onboarding process with Everpedia. It's like, how do I want my piece of Everpedia to look? And I just like went into a really deep dive about that. And so here's the thing. If you do that by yourself, you're not going to develop something that people want. Almost certainly. There's aspects of your dream model that just won't work. They are not what people want. And until you ask them or do some quick, fast tests, as the lean startup guys say, you won't know. And it's so easy to just think through all of those problems. It doesn't take that much time, right? And asking them also is, the only hard thing about it is that you are essentially humbling yourself, right? You are saying, okay, it's not entirely my project, even though I'm putting all the money and all the time and all the labor into it. It's like, these other people, they really are partners. You have to sort of like talk yourself into that in order to get the information out of them, or get yourself to do the interviews and so forth, and have the mailing list discussions and so forth that you need to. So obviously, I'm not saying you can't anticipate all the problems. Of course not. I'm not saying you can. You don't know what the features are going to be most important. Of course you don't. Every startup that I've been involved, everyone I've paid attention to this, has gone through 2 major versions at least. So basically, whatever the first version of your app is, it's almost certainly going to be scrapped and replaced with something better. That happened with Wikipedia. The first version was called Newpedia. And I don't know if that's really happened with Everpedia, but sort of, because Everpedia started as just an independent collection of articles, and then it took made a slight correction by adding all of the articles from Wikipedia, which is a major undertaking. But it was good. It was a great thing to have done. Anyway, so right. So the other way in which I would encourage you to involve others in the planning process is when you're developing features, obviously. So it's not the case that you can sit down with a focus group or whatever and come up with the perfect plan and then just execute it. There has to be constant corrections. I know I don't pretend to be telling you anything that you don't already know. I guess I'm just trying to remind you of important things. And I think that if you constantly talk to your users as you roll out new features, and you push the code as quickly as possible in order to use feedback from them, user feedback, then you're going to be ahead a lot of other developers, because in my experience, that's really not how a lot of developers work. A lot of them, they just go heads down and just write a whole bunch of code, and nobody sees it for months, right? And then it comes out, and here is our MVP, and you're going to start using it now. And the users are inevitably going to be telling themselves, oh, I am I? Well, let's see about that. I'm not sure. You have to actually engage them at every step of the development process. As soon as you have something that even plausibly can be put in front of people, you let them do the minimal thing they can do, which is find bugs or whatever. So this is something that I've, again, always insisted on. When I've worked with a team as a project manager, I said, let's put it on the staging server at least, and then we'll put an announcement out to the early adopters and ask them to give us feedback and bug reports. And I mean, this might seem unnecessary or tiresome or whatever, but in my opinion, it really isn't. It makes all the difference. Those early adopters are the people, their advice is gold. They will give you all kinds of ideas that you will not think of yourself. If you have in-depth enough discussions, that's a big if, because a lot of people, they'll just do quick and dirty surveys, and they won't actually deeply discuss things with people. So both this point and the last point, when you're doing the planning and when you're in the development phase, you have to pick a tool, right? We interact with our users using, I think like 4 different ways. We've got a very, very active Telegram group. I'm talking about Everpedia now. We have a Reddit group, we've got a Facebook group, and then we've got our own, self-written software on the website itself. And we're very open to people contributing in any of those ways. And so this is one of the reasons I am confident that Everpedia has taken off as well as it has, because it's a participatory website. The guys know, they're savvy about these things. I say the guys because I didn't get involved until last September. But they knew from the beginning, and I told them at the beginning, you have to get feedback from your users constantly and learn from it. So I'm going to just end with this on this note. So I'm glad that you took a break here to listen to me. So I want to just leave you with this thought that you are in an industry and experimenting with a technology that is going to change the world. I really believe that. And even if you don't win, even if you don't place anything, you're still going to be a winner and miles ahead of a lot of other developers because you're getting all of this knowledge and this experience and connections in an industry that, again, is going to take over the world. So that's one reason to stay optimistic, and actually that's my point. The thing that is going to allow you to execute and to be not one of the 8 out of 10 or whatever it is startups that fails is that you just have an unshakable self-confidence that you're going to actually do this. And you constantly think of ways to improve and ways to basically buck yourself up and solve those problems and so forth. Pessimism kills motivation. That's the problem, right? This is what the psychological research says, that if you're optimistic, you will be motivated. If you're pessimistic, you're just not going to be able to get out of bed in the morning. I mean, if it's really bad. So if you have problems along those lines, I would suggest cognitive therapy, which is basically helps you to talk through the false thoughts and the fallacies that are making a pessimist out of you. And it's a natural way to make you into an optimist. So, and that's all I have. I hope that was helpful. Thank you.
Bien, mi gente, hasta aquí hemos llegado con esta magnífica información que no me cabe duda que para muchos ha sido de beneficio. Así que si nuestros videos te gustan, mira, danos una manito arriba. También en la descripción de los mismos tenemos nuestras carteras criptográficas por si usted nos quiere dar una manito y ayudarnos a proseguir con este proyecto. Y no menos importante, mira, nuestras redes sociales, las cuales estamos a diestra y a siniestra, gente, publicando todos los sucesos de la industria criptográfica. Ok, hasta aquí llegó el barco. Jimmy Rodríguez con ustedes. Espero que toditos estén bien. Y como siempre decimos, ¡wow, papo! Hasta la próxima.
Mira, ¿no sabes qué rayo es la criptografía? ¿Estás cansado de escuchar de Bitcoin? Y Bitcoin para aquí, y Bitcoin para allá, y Bitcoin para aquí. Pues mira, ¿no sabes qué es eso? Pues suscríbete al canal para que te enteres, centella.